I'm intuitive medium Sandy Duncan with my rescue medium friends, Michael Lamport, Jackie Dennison, Edna Dargie, Alison Wynne-Ryder. And this time we are truly excited to be with Shannon Gilmore, super fan of rescue mediums. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
We're looking forward to, where you're going to take us on this particular episode of Behind the Scenes.
Well, we know that the one that we're going to be talking about is Oh, It's a Lovely War, which is season 6, episode 7. And Shannon, this took place near you, correct?
Yes, it's just up the street.
I
think it's the house. I walk by with my dog all the time.
What a small world that is, though. That's incredible. And I noticed that when I was looking at the episode, I think it's from 2010. And I guess everything kind of still looks the same from then.
We weren't here in 2010, but the cheers is where I really recognized it. I thought, that's our park. In the episode, you say Melanchthon, but we're Shelburne's. Melanchthon, Shelburne. And I think I recognized that house. Like, I walk by it all the time.
Amazing. It's a small world to be watching the rescue mediums and go, I walk by there.
Shelburne.
So in this episode, homeowner Kathy and her children, there were a lot of premonitions about strange feelings that had to do, again, with the lower level of the house. We got to watch those unfold. And Jackie, it was amazing because right out of the gate, as you're talking to the homeowners, one of the very few times I've seen you say, oh, hang on, there was a flash. And yeah. Alison, you felt someone touching your hair.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Right. My ears buzzing like
that. Yeah, because I just seen something in that corner.
No,
really, honestly. Yeah. Do you see things out the corner of your eye?
Yes,
a lot. Because I've just seen a flash of light in that corner. Honestly, I really have. And we don't normally feel or see things this early on. No. But you felt something
I've been sitting here, my ears are buzzing like mad, and I can feel on my hair. Yeah. And I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm feeling quite warm as well, which is very early on to be feeling that. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's right. Jackie. Right, because that's quite rare when we're talking to the homeowners. But like that was very strong for both of us, wasn't it? And very salient as well, as we found later on. Yeah, it was. No, you're right. It is unusual when we're talking to the homeowners that we get anything extra while we're with them.
But they've been having all kinds of problems, these people. I mean, it affected the children as well. It did, yeah. The little boy, he was talking about, I think it was him that heard a woman screaming, and then he felt someone touch his hair. And then he said in the kitchen, he saw a black shadow behind Nicole, who was his sister. So
little tiny orbs in places. It's sort of weird. It went like between us. It was sort of like yay big and it was like floating, I guess.
And she said, did you see that? And I said, yes. Did you see that?
Which, then you just think, you've got to do everything that you can to help this family because it was affecting all of them.
Yeah.
And strongly too.
Yeah. But in your experience, will it affect children maybe even first before the adults?
Not necessarily, Jackie, would it? No. It just depends, doesn't it? It depends what the story is, who the spirit is, if they are, I don't know. It just depends. It could be that they go to one person because it reminds them of a loved one that they've lost that they're looking for. There could be so many different scenarios. So not necessarily, but with this, it was strong for all of them, the two children and the mum, Kathy, as well. Yeah, they all felt it,
It struck me how brave the children were to be able to tell you what they were experiencing, because obviously you establish a level of trust as soon as you arrive. They already feel better. That's one of my favorite parts. about when you first sit down with the homeowners, is that you can see the relief on their face before you've even started. It's like calling for help and someone shows up. They haven't started yet, but you feel better because they got there.
Shannon, can I ask you a question? Why did you pick this particular episode as one of your favourites?
I have so many favorites, and this one I just thought is so close to home. And I just always remember it. Like one of the things that stands out in my head is Alison saying like she's wiping the blood off her hands. She thinks whoever is, and I don't know why that stuck with me. And
could possibly be a nurse or helping in a hospital or something, but it feels like she's got something on her hands and she's like wiping. I don't know if it's blood and she's trying to wipe the blood off her hand.
And then another part is when you nail the fact that he was hit in the back, like he was shot in the back.
That was.
I think that's the point that he's passed. He's gone. He was shot in the back.
Yeah, so the blood on the hands was the female nurse.
Yes.
And being shot in the back was the soldier, wasn't it? So two very strong, very, very strong, rescues on this one.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I did enjoy on the way there, because we did the farmer's market, didn't we, on the way there?
Popcorn.
And the popcorn, yes.
En route to the rescue, Jackie and Alison have popped by the local fair.
See where the button
is. Thank you. Gosh, this is so nice, isn't it? Excuse me. Thank you. This is fun.
Jackie and Alison are renowned psychic mediums who spend their days and nights showing wayward spirits into the light.
Take a right.
I was going this way anyway. It's not funny. You want to think of a psychic?
You must be psychic, you.
I must be.
The rescue mediums have been given no prior knowledge of their destination.
That was such good fun.
It was. I loved that. It was so different, wasn't it?
It was very different to any other arrival, I think, especially as they let us buy the popcorn.
Yes.
And we could eat it as we were going along.
We've never done that before. We've never sort of like been anywhere, bought something to eat and then scoffed it as we're walking along, chatting about, I wonder where we're going and all that. Yeah. It's madness, isn't it?
Do you know what? That's so brilliant. One of the reasons that we love doing this show is, and for Michael to find us these arrivals in the way, and some of them are very, very natural arrivals. Others are like, oh, there's a certain vehicle in the area, we can use that. It's a little bit different, a tractor or a hearse or whatever. But in this case, this was an actual market that was going on, and Michael's idea is like, why don't we just go with the fact that there's a market going on and you're walking through the market? So it was brilliant, Michael, that one. We loved it.
It was, absolutely fab.
Well, it's really fun to find when we're there on the shooting day, like you say, to see what's around, to say, okay, can we use that? Oh, look, like when we've used the fire truck in one place, it's sort of like, oh, look, there's a antique fire truck there. I wonder if there's anybody around that can drive it. And when you ask people politely, and they never ask for any money, they're like really happy. They're like, sure, yeah. Well, or a cop, or the lobster fishermen, or it's so much fun to find the arrivals, because you just go like, oh, okay. And I'm always frightened they're going to say no. But I just steel myself and go, no, I'll convince them.
How could anyone say no to you, Michael, with that smile on your face? I can just, they're probably just, let's do this. And then there's also the element of, watching the episode back and saying, that's my car, or that's our vehicle, and all those people who were at the farmer's market that ended up on screen. Because when I watched the episode back, I was looking at how many people, and there was actually a lot of people there, wasn't there? Yeah.
I thought it was funny how in the premonitions, Alison, you had Bob's your uncle. And when you said it, you both laughed, but then it was like, well, wait a sec.
Yeah.
This could be significant later on.
I wonder, isn't it?
Bob's your uncle. Or is there a twist on that? Bob, Robert, Bob.
Yeah. I mean, spirit guides, our spirit guides, both mine and Jackie's, have a really good sense of humour, don't they? And, you know, and it is amazing. And that's exactly what I heard, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
So, but then we wondered whether it was the name, whether the name Bob or Robert was relevant. And of course it was. I think it was the soldier's middle name, I think, wasn't it, Edna?
Yeah.
And Michael, you had one of the best lines from the show when you said, the split level home has been overtaken by high level spirits.
Rescue mediums are investigating this residence in Melanchthon, where a split level home has been overtaken by high level spirits.
You write that down and try to remember. It was so good.
Brilliant.
High level spirits indeed.
I love those one-liners.
I do too. As you said, Alison, it was a double rescue of two people, a man and a woman in spirit. So, but during the investigation itself, and Shannon, maybe this gets to you like it gets to me when I watch. Jackie, you turned to Alison at one point and said, your face just changed. And Alison didn't know her face had changed. And
I felt
describing the changes.
Yeah.
Where Jackie witnesses a disturbing transformation.
What? What's my face doing?
It's changed.
Has it?
Your face changed. Your face went a lot thinner.
Right.
And you had dimples that went right in.
I felt really odd. I remember feeling sickly. I'm thinking, wonder why I'm feeling sickly. I never said anything. Yeah. And then Jackie, I didn't feel my face changing. And it's so funny because she stands and she goes, I look at me and I think, oh my God, what's going on? And she said, your face has changed.
But it was obviously, you were being overshadowed by the features of that person.
Yeah, and then feeling quite sickly with that, because that can also happen when you are, you know, later on during the rescue. That can make us feel dizzy, it can make us feel sick. I don't think, did you know that, Shannon, that sometimes that does happen, you know, when we're overshadowed very, very strongly, and especially doing two in this particular episode. A lot gets cut out because obviously it's a half-hour show. And the editors are amazing, but sometimes it can take hours, you know, for that particular rescue, whereas it looks about 10 or 15 minutes. But it can make you feel like unsteady, sickly, because on also they're putting the spirits putting their emotions on us as they overshadow us, and we can feel and sense everything, can't we?
Yeah. Yeah, and in this episode, there was also they used a sense of smell quite strongly, because it was horrific, and we both were aware of the horrors.
Beds, my heart's beating really, really fast. That's horrible.
It's pungent, isn't it? What is it? What is it?
That's horrible.
A psychic smell overwhelms the ladies.
It's like gas, like a gas smell.
That's horrible.
It's gas, isn't it?
Oh, God.
You were with the nurse, and then I was with the soldier. But then, of course, what happens is as soon as one person links in, the other one of us will link in. So we're using our energy as well as our guide's energy. But I think that's where you felt the blood on your hands was with the nurse, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, my hands felt sticky. I wasn't quite sure what it was at first. And then I realised, and I looked down and it was red, and I thought, oh, it's blood. And she was wiping it on this apron that she was wearing. But I felt her. She was petrified, because wasn't that place bombed continually with all those soldiers in there, and that's how she passed. Is that right, Edna?
Yes. Yeah.
A copy of a war diary that tells what actually happened.
This official record of the Canadian government tells of a night raid on an Allied military hospital by German bombers in May of 1918.
No wonder she was feeling absolutely petrified. She was trying to help the soldiers, trying to get to them, and she didn't know who to go to first. And then all of a sudden, the place is being bombed, one bomb after another.
Yeah. What can you tell us about that, Edna? With the nurse, because her name was the same as the homeowners, wasn't it? Was it Cassie or Catherine? Or
That's right, it was Catherine.
Catherine.
Yes.
Troubled Spirit and the homeowner share both the first name of Catherine and the profession of nursing. The healing spirit of Catherine, the homeowner, drew the damaged soul of Catherine Maud MacDonald.
She probably thought, well, if anybody can help me, this lady can. So, you know, and obviously you made the call, you know, to get me and Jackie to come here. And
The rescue mediums believe that the identity of the female spirit is Catherine Maud MacDonald. Born in Brantford on January the 18th, 1893, she served overseas as a nurse during the First World War.
Shannon, I think you had a question about Catherine Maud MacDonald and her whereabouts.
Yeah, and we have a big cemetery. I'm just wondering if she's in there. And I've watched enough rescue mediums to know that I don't want to walk through the graveyard and ask for trouble and then, you know, have any home.
Well,
no, Edna, do we know where she is?
I do. You had said, Shannon, you'd like to visit her grave.
Yes.
Well, if you did en route, I think you should pop in and see Jackie and pop in and see Alison.
Oh,
she's in France, where she in the Étaples military cemetery. So it would be a bit of a trek, but it'd probably be worthwhile, especially with visits along the way. Yes, and I've actually found some additional photos that we didn't have at the time of the show. So yeah, this one. Oh, she's by the lake now.
She's by the Lady of the Lake, yes.
And look how young she is, Jackie. And I remember when I was with her, I said she's so young.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
you did say that.
And there's more. I think she looks a little younger here. Have you?
We are.
Oh my gosh, she does look younger. Yeah.
Look at her. Oh, it's heartrending, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
There's more.
Oh gosh.
Oh, in a
look at that.
uniform. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Now that's very
There she
important
is.
because that's how you were seeing her, Alison.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I remember as well from this one? It was, but we both saw each of the spirit. You was with him, I was with her, and we're both floating. So I think it was sort of like what we were seeing was the soul leaving the body, and it was like the in-betweeny bit before they went over. But I just remember I thought, oh my God, it really, I always wonder why the editors keep some stuff in. And when we were sitting at the end and we were going through everything, and it was about the soldier, and I said to the homeowners, and he came down from his floatiness. I
feel like I'm up in the air.
Floating. He's dead.
Doesn't belong anywhere, does he, at the moment?
No.
So we need to help him.
He's floating.
We need to. We grounded him in the end anyway, so he came down from his floatiness.
You kept it in.
So you.
I didn't think because after I said it.
We had to get her over first.
Yes.
Before him. I don't know why that was in that order, but I just remember there being like a battlefield and a feeling of I could see civilians, I could see other people. there. They like these other people there, and a feeling of being ambushed.
Yeah, you said that, I think, as well.
Yeah, and he was shot in the back. Is he really? I think I say in the episode, he didn't stand a chance, and he really didn't stand a chance at all.
Poor guy.
Soon after the outbreak of the Second World War, Wilfred Robert Barry enlisted with the Royal Canadian Dragoons. In April of 1945, while stationed in Holland, his patrol was ambushed by a German sniper. As this military document shows, Wilfred was shot in the back.
He was shot in the back.
There's a lovely account that I found of what happened on the day that he was bombed, and it's so like you visualized it. You got exactly the details here. Apparently, it was a village in Holland, and a German armored car had broken down at the far end of the village and had been abandoned. And so far, there had really been no fighting in this village. And at 1:30 in the afternoon, there was a rumbling of 3 scout cars coming through the village. The Canadians had arrived. So all the villagers were out there cheering, draping themselves around the cars. The Canadians grinned, stopped outside the meat shop, asking for directions, etc. Then the villagers told them about the abandoned German armored car parked further down the road. They turned up the lane. 30 minutes later, 3 more Canadian scout cars drove through the village. This group missed the turning and drove towards the apparently abandoned German armored car. The lead car was about 150 yards ahead of the others, and as it passed the German vehicle, there was a burst of fire from an anti-tank rifle. The villagers were wrong. 2 Germans had remained behind, hidden. So the car swung out of control, toppled on its side. 2 of the 3-man crew scrambled out and took cover. The driver, who was Robert, hid in the back, lay half toppled out of the car, his dark hair hanging limply down, blood spreading on the ground. And this was Wilfred Robert Barry. He'd been in Holland for 3 weeks, and he was thinking of getting married.
Oh, God.
And he was kind of stuck there. He was still alive, and he was calling out for water. And a widow took him water, braving the bullets. His corpse was left at the roadside for the villagers to guard overnight.
Oh.
So, so many of the details, though, that you found on that one. The civilians and being shot in the back. And
that's right.
Yeah. And it took quite a long time, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it doesn't look that on screen, does it? But that's what I was getting at before, to explain to Shannon that we could be there literally hours, with some of them, can't we? But that one, the detail was amazing, because you've got other people. Oh, is that him?
That's him. That's him. Huh.
Young guy. Both died really young.
Yes.
Catherine and him as well. Yeah. Do you have any more questions, Shannon? For anyone?
I have tons of questions. Okay, so I have a random question. Like, how often, I guess this is more Edna and Michael, how often, if you went to visit homes that called the show, was it just people that might have wanted to be on TV?
That's happened several times. And you can usually tell, because they're, I don't want to diss anybody, but they're usually very over dramatic, and often believe that they have demons in the basement and everywhere. And it just doesn't feel real. It just feels like, hey, I want some publicity, or I want to be on TV. Now, thankfully, there haven't been too many people like that, but we can usually tell. You're trying too hard. This isn't what the show's about. It's not about theatrics. It's about reality.
All right. Thank you. Can I ask another one?
Go for it.
When you're being overshadowed, what happens if you don't come out of it? Like, where do Jackie and Alison go? And does the crew have like a protocol? Like, what happens if they can't get you out?
It's nearly happened. With the crew, I've nearly jumped in a few times to help us, haven't they? But we always, I mean, we are a fantastic team, and if I'm being overshadowed really strongly, Jackie always manages to bring me out of that, obviously with the help of her spirit team and vice versa. Although when I first started on the show, I just remember the first time Jackie was overshadowed and they zoomed in on my face, the look of shock and horror on my face, and I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, what do we do here? So it's a really, really good question. Yeah, really good question.
The crew, I never ask or instruct the crew to intervene, because somebody's got to keep filming the camera because looks really good. And we don't want anything bad to happen to Jackie nor Alison, but one person's got to stay behind with the camera.
Yes.
There you go. There's your answer.
Excellent. I have some more. When you guys kind of link and you can both see the light, do you create it, or is it just there? Do you look for it and it appears, or do you somewhat manifest it sort of together?
The light.
We don't manifest it.
No, you just see it. It's there.
And it takes a while sometimes, though, because sometimes it can even be just like a tiny pinprick of light, and then we ask for help in amplification of that light. So we could be sat there maybe half an hour trying to raise the vibrations so that it makes it easier for the light to appear, but we can't manifest it. We have to wait until we link into it, and usually when one of us links into it, then the other one can link in then as well. So, and then we amplify it then, don't we?
We do, and I love how we both see it at the same time. How that happens, because we're literally in the moment. We're not thinking, we're not sort of thinking into it. We're just seeing and feeling what we see and what we feel and what we're sensing. And like Jackie said, we just join, and we're both aware of the same thing, probably from different angles, because Jackie might be with the spirit and I'm trying to guide her with the spirit forward, or vice versa. But because it's a team effort and both our respective spirit teams are working together and helping us as well, it literally is teamwork, and it just, but no, we don't manifest anything. It's there.
All right. Another question is, it's happened in more than one episode, but Alison, when you're overshadowed, I've seen Jackie put her hand on your head on more than one occasion. What's going on there? What are you doing?
We're linking energy, so it's like it's an extra grounding, so using the hand chakras. So I would link my energy with Alison's, but our guides as well, because we've got this whole team there that's working with us. So But it can work in reverse. So Alison could do that with me as well, where the energy needs to be grounded, so that physically you can remain focused, because sometimes the energy is so strong that it's difficult to stay focused and aware of who you are, as well. So that's why we do that. Yeah.
And it's healing as well. It has, it's a healing aspect to that as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I've just seen it on a couple episodes and I thought I'm going to put that in questions.
Did you think she was slapping me around a bit around my head?
Oh, I just wonder what was going on. I think you guys have answered my next question, which was when you sit to meditate and connect with the spirits of the house, how long does that take in real time? But you said even your rescue could last for a long time.
Yeah, sort of how long is a piece of string? It varies. Each one is completely different on so many levels. We can never put a time frame on that, can we?
No. And of course we meditate probably the day before or a couple of days before we actually go to that property. So it can take anything from an hour to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, if we do the drawings as well.
That's right, the drawings, the premonitions.
With the premonitions, So we basically connect with our spirit guides and, ask for our highest good, for the highest good of, we want to help people, and for them to give us something that will help us during the rescue, either help the homeowners or help us to unravel things, So it can take quite a while,
It can, yeah. And because obviously we're asking our spirit guides for clues when we're meditating as to what we're going to find, which then make, they make the premonitions, and that's what we read to each other at the very start and show each other the artwork. But I mean, obviously that means nothing to us because we hadn't been to the property. But it's amazing how when we are walking around, we're looking at each of them and going, oh, you got that in the premonitions, or you got that in your drawing, and it's exciting, isn't it? So I love the fact that we just don't know where we're going or what's going on. We know nothing at that point anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So maybe we can do this again with Shannon, and maybe you'll have some more questions for us, Shannon, and we can look at another episode.
Sure. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Sandy, do you have any questions at all before we do a cheers?
It's more just an observation. When you were explaining and answering Shannon's questions about timing and linking in and seeing the light and that sort of thing, it just struck me again just how heart-centered rescue mediums is, and how if it wasn't, you couldn't accomplish what you do and what you did and what you will, because that's, to me, the string that goes around all of you, like you're roped in. And without that, it would not have been the same. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Shannon, that you had said that you had walked by that house with your dog, and your kids were playing near where the cheers was done.
Yeah, that's our park. They put a water park in there now, or a splash pad, so it's a little fancier now. But
so if you guys go back now, you've got more to do, more to see in the cheers. Yeah.
I was just going to say, if that was there then, Michael wouldn't have had us on the swings. He'd have had us sliding down the...
Yeah.
We douche.
Yeah.
Just imagine that, can't you?
The cheers for this one was on the swings, wasn't it?
I loved that. Oh, I absolutely.
We couldn't get in sync. We were like this.
I know.
This is one investigation that has left the rescue mediums pumped.
Do you know, I'm so glad we were able to help.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
2 rescues.
And both war sort of conditions as well.
I know.
Hey, Al.
What?
Where'd you get that then?
I got it on the plane from the flight attendant. It was a freebie. I tell you what though, Jackie.
What?
I wish the bottle was bigger.
Why?
Well, if we had bigger bottles, we'd be flying high.
Cheers!
I know, we had the drink and then the joke at the end. It was just the whole thing, the arrival at the farmer's market, the two rescues, you know, helping them, helping the homeowners, and then like, you know, the cheers on the swings. It really was a phenomenal episode, this one, wasn't it?
Was, yeah. So thank you for choosing this one, Shannon, for us to talk about.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well,
we should do a cheers.
okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
This is for you. Let it snow.
Let it snow. Yes. We need rain here in Spain. The rain in Spain.
Rain in Spain.
It stays mainly on the plane. I don't think so.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed watching Behind the Scenes, please like, share and subscribe to veryparanormal.com, the portal for everything paranormal, where you can watch every episode of Behind the Scenes and every episode of Rescue Mediums, plus so much more. And it's absolutely free. Well, you can't get much better than that. Cheers.